Imagine creating a company from your garage, turning it into one of the most valuable brands in the world, and then getting fired from it. That's not the story of an ordinary man. It's the story of Steve Jobs. This is Always Fail Forward, where we uncover the real stories behind success and the failures that shaped them. Today, we're diving into how losing everything helped Steve Jobs build everything. Steve Jobs wasn't a typical tech genius. He was a dreamer with an obsession for design, simplicity, and meaning. Born in 1955 and adopted shortly after birth, Jobs grew up in California, where his curiosity for electronics started early. He wasn't an engineer, but he had something far more powerful: vision. In 1976, Jobs and Steve Wozniak built the first Apple computer in a garage. It was raw, simple, and revolutionary. They didn't just build a product, they built a movement. Within a few years, Apple exploded, going public and making Jobs a multimillionaire before the age of 30. But beneath the success, cracks were forming. Jobs was brilliant, but intense. His perfectionism clashed with the people around him. He demanded excellence, but his approach often came across as abrasive and impossible. Inside Apple, his colleagues admired him and feared him at the same time. By 1985, that tension reached a breaking point. After disagreements with Apple's board and CEO John Sculley, Jobs was forced out of the company he created.
Tell us about your departure from Apple.
Oh, it was very painful. I'm not even sure I want to talk about it. What can I say? I hired the wrong guy.
That was Scully?
Yeah. And he destroyed everything I'd spent 10 years working for. Starting with me, but that wasn't the saddest part. I would have gladly left Apple if Apple would have turned out like I'd wanted it to. He basically got on a rocket ship that was about to leave the pad, and the rocket ship left the pad, and it kind of went to his head. He got confused and thought that he built the rocket ship. And then he kind of sort of changed the trajectory so that it was inevitably going to crash into the ground.
Losing Apple shattered Jobs. He was 30 years old, publicly humiliated, and unsure of what came next. For a while, he wandered, both literally and creatively. But true to his nature, he couldn't stop building. Out of that failure came NeXT, a new computer company built on the idea of combining power and design for higher education and business. The company didn't achieve massive commercial success, but it pushed the boundaries of innovation. The NeXT computer would later become the foundation for Apple's Mac OS. At the same time, Jobs made another move when he bought a struggling animation studio called Pixar. No one believed in it, but Jobs saw potential. Through his leadership, Pixar created the world's first fully computer-animated film, Toy Story. That one movie changed animation forever. Even in exile, Jobs was rewriting the rules. In 1996, fate came full circle. Apple, the company that had once fired him, was now failing. Its products were outdated, sales were collapsing, and morale was at an all-time low. When they needed saving, they turned to the man they had once let go. Jobs returned not as the same fiery young visionary, but as a wiser, more focused leader. He simplified everything, cut down the product lines, reimagined the brand, and made design the soul of technology. Then came the innovations that defined an era: the iMac, the iPod, the iPhone, and the iPad. Products that didn't just change Apple, they changed the world. Through every triumph, Jobs carried the lessons of failure. The pain of being fired had taught him humility, patience, and focus.
Now, I've actually always found something to be very true, which is most people don't get those experiences because they never ask. I've never found anybody that didn't want to help me if I asked them for help. I always call them up. I called up, this will date me, but I called up Bill Hewlett when I was 12 years old, and he lived in Palo Alto. His number was still in the phone book. And he answered the phone himself. He said, yes? He said, hi, I'm Steve Jobs. I'm 12 years old. I'm a student in high school, and I want to build a frequency counter. And I was wondering if you had any spare parts I could have. And he laughed, and he gave me the spare parts to build this frequency counter, and he gave me a job that summer in Hewlett-Packard, working on the assembly line, putting nuts and bolts together on frequency counters. He got me a job in the place that built them. And I was in heaven. And I've never found anyone who said no or hung up the phone when I called. I just asked. And when people ask me, I try to be as responsive, to pay that debt of gratitude back. Most people never pick up the phone and call. Most people never ask. And that's what separates sometimes the people that do things from the people that just dream about them. You gotta act. And you've got to be willing to fail. You've got to be willing to crash and burn. With people on the phone, with starting a company, with whatever. If you're afraid of failing, you won't get very far.
Steve Jobs' journey reminds us that sometimes failure isn't the end. It's the reboot. Getting fired from Apple didn't destroy him. It rebuilt him. It taught him to lead, to innovate, and to trust in his vision even when no one else did. If you've ever faced rejection, loss, or doubt, remember this. You don't need to have all the answers right now. Keep building. Keep believing. The dots will connect one day. This is Always Fail Forward. Subscribe for more stories of people who turned their setbacks into the foundations of greatness.